Welcome back, everyone, to Recruiting Thursday here on Westmoreland Sports Network. Jack Ridenour with you all, and today we are now joined by current Norwin basketball player and recent men's basketball commit for Mercyhurst University, Adam Bilinsky. Adam, wonderful to have you join us today. First off, big congrats to you on the commitment. What's it feel like knowing that you're or where you're going to be going to school next year?
Thank you. I mean, definitely feels great getting it done early, get to go into senior year basically stress-free, not knowing already where I'm going. Getting my decision in early, being applied and accepted, getting it all done quick and easy. So it feels great.
So did you kind of want to get this decision done sooner rather than later, or did that kind of come about later on in the process?
No, I definitely, I talked to both my parents about getting it done early because my recruiting process was started pretty early, so it was easier for me. It was definitely, I'd rather get it earlier than after the season and have to wait and potentially losing spots on teams and stuff like that.
I think you went about it a very smart way because there's been many instances that I've seen players, they wait, they get an injury, whatever happens, right? And I mean, that's just the way life kind of happens.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think you did it a very, very smart way. Now, what was this recruiting process like for you, especially with the whole aspect of COVID being affected and affecting that aspect of it? So what was the whole recruiting process like for you?
It was definitely eventful. It was very, very fun. I mean, I think I did it a very easy, mentally way. So my first ever scholarship offer, first ever time talking to a coach was back of last September with Coach Rick Avina and Coach Grubbs from Pitt Johnstown. Then I really didn't have anything go throughout basketball season until later in the spring. Springtime came around, and that's when I started getting back into it, and a lot of other coaches started talking to me.
So what made you decide on Mercyhurst? I mean, what drew you to the school and to the program?
I mean, one, they're a winning program. I mean, I love to win. I mean, who wants to lose? Then they had everything I wanted between school. The campus is beautiful. You walk on the campus, everything's just it looks amazing. Sounds amazing. I also talked to a couple other people that have been to Mercyhurst or went there. I've actually not heard one single person say anything bad about it. So and I just felt like it was a perfect option.
Wow, great reviews and everything. So checked all your boxes. That's great. Was it a hard decision for you to make?
Oh, 100%. A very, very hard decision. I mean, definitely came down to Pitt Johnstown and Mercyhurst just because my brother's at Pitt Johnstown. I had a very long relationship with the coaches there. And Mercyhurst had everything I wanted. It was a very tough decision.
Well, I know that the entire recruiting process for you, like you said, is probably very fun. And I'm sure one big aspect of that is playing AAU basketball. I played AAU basketball, and I can definitely agree with you on that one because those are some of the most fun times that you'll have with your friends on the basketball court. How did AAU basketball and just playing on the travel circuit help you with your overall recruitment?
Oh, it definitely helped a lot because, I mean, we went to places out of the state on the East Coast. We went to places, we went to everywhere. And it just helped a lot with recruiting in this area. I mean, for me, I particularly didn't want to go far, don't want to go out of state, want to go crazy far. So it specifically helped me because it was a bunch of, not just Pittsburgh tournaments, but we had Philly, Virginia, farther out on the East Coast tournaments. So it helped me a lot because I got a lot more exposure through that.
Yeah, AAU basketball, I think, is such an important thing, especially for basketball players that want to play at the collegiate level and being able to get that exposure and just being able to get in front of coaches in any way, shape, or form. And I'm sure, especially with the last few years with COVID, not being able to be in front of coaches, I'm sure AAU basketball is probably a very welcome thing for you and everybody else. But I want to get into this past season because you guys had a little bit of an up and down year. You guys started the season off really strong. Then you hit a little bump in the road about midway through January, losing 5 of 6. What did you think what was it about that kind of stretch of time that eventually your team got out of that, little bit of a hiccup, if you will? You guys got back in your winning ways towards the end of the season. How do you think your team responded to that, little stretch of losing?
Oh, no, we definitely responded very well. I mean, coach kind of put it on us we either win or we're going home. I think our last 3 games of section we had to win to make the playoffs. And we all kind of just dug deep, became very close friends. There wasn't a thing that we didn't do together. We grew very, very close throughout, especially those couple weeks. And we practiced hard, we played hard, and I think it just meant something at that point where we needed to win.
Were there any conversations that you and your teammates had where it was just team only, no coaches involved, and it was almost player led, and you guys got everyone together and said, hey, we got to really buckle down here if we want to make playoffs?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I actually remember this vividly. We only played like 5 players between me, Ryan, Mike Fleming, Ty Stecco, and Weaver. I mean, we only had 5 guys that played almost all the minutes. So I think me and Waldo texted each other. It's like, dude, we got to text our starting 5, like, get there 5 minutes early. We got to have a talk. Like, we can't, like, neither one of us wanted to lose. And him being the team leader of this, like the senior and the captain, we had to get it done. And we end up talking just through little things. It was very quick because we're a very fun group. We're not a very serious group to say. So it was a very quick conversation, and we all just kind of stuck to it, and we did what we said. So it worked.
Yeah. Absolutely. It definitely worked. I mean, you guys were able to push your way to the playoffs. And I'm sure that last few games of the season, like you said, backs against the wall. Did you see something different from your team that was not present at the beginning of the season?
Definitely. I mean, I think we were more energetic. Like the guys, the guys that are on the bench knew that they weren't really going to play as much, and they still made an effort to practice hard in practice, make the practice players great, cheered on the bench. That was amazing. I mean, there was more energy throughout the gym ever in Norwin history.
Well, I think that's always a great thing. I mean, your bench is basically your 6th man, if you will. And I think that's something that's very important down the stretch of games. Now, I know that you mentioned your coach briefly. This was his first year at Norwin. So I want to hear what it was like to have Coach Lance Mayhaw as your new head coach, and just how had his style of coaching differ from other coaches you've had in the past?
Oh, he was amazing. I mean, I think our first time we ever had a conversation would have been last August. And I was actually I was a little angered because we missed out on everything in the summer. So, and I thought summer was a big time, but it took no time for him to catch up. We were in the weight room. We were practicing every day. It was amazing, the stuff that he's done. And then it just all ends up working in the season. It worked perfectly fine for us. I mean, we practiced hard. His player development is insane. I mean, he made kids that I've never seen make shots. So it worked for us.
Hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? And it sounds like whatever he's doing, there's some sort of secret recipe. Now I know that there was obviously a little bit of a difference for you personally this year, as your brother was not on the team, and he had been on the team previous years, like you said, at Pitt Johnstown. I know that he suffered a little bit of a health episode last year, suffering a stroke during Christmas time. What was that like for you, just not only you, but your family to go through? And then what kind of inspiration has he been for you after that?
Oh, well, during the time, it was very rough for our family. I mean, being a separate family and it kind of almost brought us all together, and we all were just caring at that point. We've basically had this mindset as a family, like, take everything how it is. Like, there's no promises to anything. Like, you just got to keep doing what you're doing and take the granted of everything. So we definitely grew as a family much closer throughout him. And then, like, me and him personally, I mean, we're like best of friends. I mean, I text him every day. Greatest workout buddy ever. I mean, we could go to the gym for 2 hours, play, and you're playing against somebody good every single time. So he's helped me tremendously. I think I've helped him tremendously, and it's just been a great connection between us too.
Now, how was the chemistry after that on the court with you and your brother? I mean, did you feel like you almost had a deeper bond with him, especially on the court, just being on kind of the same page with one another?
Oh, well, definitely. So my freshman year and his junior year, before he was ill, we already had that connection because I've played my whole life with him because I've always played up with him. So we've always had that connection of playing. And I remember he might have played like 2 or 3 games his senior year where he was allowed to, and I think it was against PT. And he didn't start, but he came off the bench and he just subbed in, hit a pull up mid foul line jumper, went in. And I was like, well, I already know it's back. So I think we ended up actually winning that game. And I think it's solely because of him and his connections with everybody. He can get the ball to places that I've never seen anybody do.
Well, I know that, and I'm glad you bring up the aspect of him and his pull-up jump shot, because I've heard a lot of things about your pull-up jump shot and your game overall, and that the aspect of the in-between game I think is a lost art, especially at the high school level. And for you to be able to excel at that, I think that's very impressive. How would you describe your style of play? I know that you've got a cool nickname in spring, so I want to hear a little bit about just how that kind of all gets factored into one. But how would you describe your style of play?
No, I like to play aggressive. Get into the hoop is the number one thing. Try to get to the hoop always. I can jump higher than most other people, so I like to raise up over top of guys. Shooting the ball mid-range is one of the best shots in the world because not a lot of people can guard it. Because once you sit there and you stop on a dime and shoot the ball, there's not many people that can elevate with me when I jump high enough. I like to extend it around the three a lot of times. Definitely like to get the ball around to my teammates, and scoring around the basket is probably the main thing.
So I want to get a little bit deeper into your nickname Springs because your ability to jump has been highlighted so much. What in your training have you done in the past few years that you think has just kind of taken your jumping abilities to a whole nother level?
So I would say during COVID, I mean, there was nothing to do but like golf and lift. So that's all we basically did. So me and my brother and my dad would all go lift at my grandfather's house. He has a gym in the basement. He calls it the cellar. And he used to be an old DJ. So we have all the DJ equipment set up to listen to music and stuff. But I would say like I started lifting my legs of that March, and it was just like almost like a quick start. That was all I needed. Like 2 weeks later, I was able to dunk basketball with two hands. Like it was nothing. Like I was like, we were all shocked. We were all amazed. And I've just kept that same routine. Then I've also lately been doing things with our athletic trainer at the high school, Angie, and she's been helping me tremendously doing just like the simple like workouts that not a lot of people think of, but definitely help.
What was that first dunk like for you?
Oh, it was actually kind of funny. I was at one of my best friend's house, Ryan. He's our point guard, and I like went up and dunked it, and I looked at him. I was like, dude, this hoop's small. Like, and he was like, no, it's not. And I would like not believe him. So I made his dad come out actually and get the tape measure out. And he was like, it's 10 feet. And I was like, well, there you go. I was like, well, I guess I can dunk.
Pleasant surprise. It sounds like
pleasant surprise.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I love hearing that story of when players, I mean, hey, I'll be honest with you. I never even got that close to the rim. So getting to hear people talk about, their first dunk or whatever, it's almost like, it's a big deal, right? I mean, it's a big deal, especially in a hooper's life. But Adam, you've been awesome to have on the show today. Really appreciate your time. Before we let you run, I just want to hear from you. What are you most looking forward to heading into your senior year of high school? I guess you're already in it. So what are you most looking forward to in your senior year of high school?
Definitely spend time with friends and family. Basketball season, of course. I mean, I think I have those days counting down to all of us. Me and Ryan have told each other about 1,000 times how much we miss it and how much we can't wait for it. It's definitely the funnest time of the year, just with the students and then the games, and just can't beat it. Definitely basketball season. Can't wait for it.
Awesome, my friend. Well, we are very excited to catch you and Norwin out on the court this year. Again, really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the big commitment and good luck this season.
Yes, thank you for having me.